let's talk about pain. I mean, it's a fundamental part of being human, right? But for something so universal, our ways of dealing with it, well, they're often not so great. So what if there was a totally different way to approach it? Not just enduring pain, but skillfully investigating it. That's exactly what we're going to dive into.
So think about it for a second. Be honest. When a real, nagging pain shows up, could be a headache, a sore back, even some tough emotional stuff, what is your immediate gut reaction? What's the very first thing you do?
For most of us, it boils down to one of two things. We either try to run from it, distract ourselves, binge watch something, just hope it vanishes, or we do the opposite. We try to push it away. We fight it. We tense up against it. We try to force it to leave. But here's the problem with both of those tactics. What happens when you're truly stuck? When you can't run, and pushing just isn't working?
And that is exactly where we need a whole new approach. The big idea here is that we need to totally reframe what we think insight is. It's not some mystical event that just happens to you. It's a skill that you actually develop.
Now, this is where it gets really, really interesting. We usually think of ignorance as just not knowing stuff. But in this context, it means being unskilled in how you handle your own mind. And that right there is a total game changer. It shifts everything from feeling like you're broken or deficient to realizing, oh, this is just something I can learn.
And this really hits the point home. Insight isn't some lightning bolt from the sky. Nope. You gain it gradually, bit by bit, just like you would mastering any other skill, like playing the guitar or learning to cook. You try something, you see what happens, and you adjust. It's a process. Okay, so where does this skill become absolutely essential? It's in those moments we can call the wall of pain. This is that point where all your usual tricks and strategies just completely fail you.
So, picture this. Maybe you're trying to meditate or even just lie down and rest, and this sharp pain pops up. You try to ignore it, but it just gets louder. You try to relax, but it stays right there. The pain isn't leaving, and you've decided you aren't either. You are literally up against a wall. And it's at that wall that a new door has to open.
But here's the key. This new approach isn't just about gritting your teeth and toughing it out. There's this fantastic quote that illustrates this perfectly. Just enduring pain, like a chicken sitting on its eggs day after day, isn't the point. See, the skill isn't endurance, it's curious investigation.
So how on earth do you investigate pain? Well, this is where we get to the really practical part, your toolkit. It's all about learning to frame the experience differently by asking the right kind of questions.
Here's a really powerful analogy. Our usual way of dealing with pain is like sitting in a car facing forward. The sensations feel like they're coming at you over and over, and you're just bracing for the next impact. But what if you could mentally turn around, like in the back of an old station wagon, and face backward? Now the exact same sensations are seen as passing by you. There it goes, and there it goes again. It's the same physical event, but a radically different way of experiencing it.
And you can kickstart that shift with questions just like these. Instead of just thinking, ow, this hurts, you get curious. You ask, is this pain one solid heavy block? Or is it more like a bunch of little fizzy sensations? Does the strongest part stay in one spot, or does it actually move around? These questions turn you from a passive victim of your pain into an active, curious scientist of your own experience.
So what's actually happening here? Why does this work? Well, it's because you're deconstructing the experience. You're learning to see that the physical event in your body and your mental reaction to it are not the same thing.
Usually, we just lump all this together into one big miserable blob called pain. But we can actually pull it apart. See, there's the body, just physical stuff like heat, pressure, vibration. Then there's the raw sensation itself. And then there's your awareness, the part of you that simply knows the sensation is there. Realizing these are three separate things is a huge shift. It's like discovering a big, scary monster is actually just three little guys standing really close together. Once you see them as separate, they lose their power to overwhelm you.
And once you can see those separate parts, it leads to this profound, assumption-shattering question. Just because there's a physical pain in the body, why does that automatically have to be a burden on the mind? Is that some unbreakable law of the universe, or is it just a habit we've never ever questioned before?
Learning to ask these questions about pain isn't just a neat trick for dealing with discomfort. It's actually training. It's training for tackling one of the biggest, most earnest questions of our entire lives.
And here it is. This is the central puzzle, isn't it? We all want to be happy, deeply, yet so often we do things that create pain and suffering for ourselves. Trying to understand that process, that's one of the most worthwhile investigations we can ever take on.
And it turns out the skill that helps us answer that giant question is the very same one we've been exploring this whole time. The path isn't about running faster or pushing harder. The path is to stop, turn around, and learn to face our experience straight on, not with force, but with skilled attention and genuine curiosity. And that, well, that changes everything.